Okay, I'm back in the Alder swamp. I'm going to start on the perimeter and I'm going to walk in slowly and show you some of the key plants. So I'm here right now next to a kind of a shaggy bark tree. This is black cherry, genus Prunus, typical upland species. And then this guy right here, this is box elder. It's in the maple family actually, so the Acer genus. You can totally tell because it's got opposite branches, and the tips of them are either quite purple or quite emerald green, so it's box elder. Now right at my feet here is the spore frond of sensitive fern, genus Anocloa, which you can also see in the floodplain forest, and you can see at the black ash seepage swamp, and here it is at the Alder thicket. And I wonder if I can just get, thank you. So I'm walking over here, and this plant right here is giant goldenrod. So this is Solidago gigantea, good name for it. If you look at the seed head, it's gigantea. So these are maybe like a foot, maybe even like 18 inches across. I mean, their inflorescence is. So they've got a huge, huge flowering head or inflorescence, and the stem is hairless. If we could look at some leaves, which I'm really not seeing right now, they'd be pretty toothy. So that's Solidago gigantea, or a giant goldenrod. I'm going to walk a little bit further down in. Some of these trees that look kind of whitish at this time of the day, you might at first glance say, oh, okay, I know those are white birch, but actually they're not. These are aspen, so much more smooth, kind of greasy feeling bark. It's not the chalky white bark of white birch. So another typical species, aspen or poplar, or some people say popple, on the very perimeter of the Alder thicket. Now I'm going to start walking my way in, so I'm going further and further in, and here we are. This is, in the low light of the day, speckled alder. So how do you know it's speckled alder? Well, first, it's speckled. So if I look at the trunk, it's got these sort of white little things right here, and those are called lenticels. Lent, L-E-N-T-I-C-E-L-S, lenticels. And those are like pores to allow in oxygen. They're called lenticels, and they're just speckled all over the tree, hence the name speckled alder, Alnus ancana. And another nice way to know it is it's got two kinds of cones. I can see them, I hope you can, right here. These kind of bone or ball-like looking cones, those are the females. And then if I kind of scan upward, you can see there is some kind of long sort of pendulous objects hanging down. Those are the male cones. So there are male cones called catkins, and then these more pine cone, mini pine cone looking structures, those are the female cones. So we have two different kinds of cones on one tree. So the trees are both male and female, and they've got those trademark white lenticels, hence the name speckled alder. Now why is this such a cool tree? Well, it's considered a pioneer species. So if you've got mucky peat-like soil, which is very challenging to grow in, some of the first trees to actually venture their way into such a place is speckled alder. So why those? Why can they do this? Oh, hang on for a moment. I got a better shot of the male catkin right here. Now you can see that pendulous structure. Those are the male cones. You can see them much better right there. Anyway, why are they such good pioneer species? Really two reasons. Their seeds are tiny. Picture small seeds that can really germinate easily and survive in mucky soil, saturated soil. That's one prime reason. The other is they are very good at nitrogen fixation. Now what does that mean? Well, there's plenty of nitrogen in the air, diatomic nitrogen, N2, but the problem is most plants cannot take it right out of the air and use nitrogen directly for making molecules like amino acids and proteins, but these plants are good at it. Most plants need something like symbiotic bacteria that are good at nitrogen fixation, but speckled alder can do it. So really two things, that tiny seed size and their nitrogen fixing abilities make speckled alder an excellent pioneer species. All right, let's go for a walk. Going in further here, getting a little mucky. Here's a typical plant to the alder thicket. This is polygonum or smartweed. I'll show you a typical way of knowing it. Right here on kind of an elbow of the plant, it's got this kind of collar, and this is typical to smartweed or polygonum. Here's another one of those collars. Here's another of those collars. It's got these long, rather narrow leaves and kind of pretty flowers when they're out. So that's smartweed or polygonum. Gonna go some walking some more here, take a look at some plants. Oh, here's a cool one right here. This is a sedge. So if you watched my other videos, you've noticed that sedges have edges. That's a typical mnemonic. Again, it is not a perfect mnemonic, but it works in this case. This is a really cool sedge. I'm going to find you a picture of it as well so we can talk about it even further. Just give me a moment here. I'll find it. There we go. So this is called hummock sedge. Now again, every sedge has got a certain female structure to it. So if you look at this picture right here, each of these individual pieces that make up this larger structure, those are female, and they're called a perigynium, or perigynium, I guess you could also pronounce it. And it's got a certain particular structure to it, and it marks the character of a hummock sedge. Now these are really cool because you can see they grow as a hummock, kind of a small island in the alder swamp. And actually, if you read up on it, there are people that believe that this one spot is kind of a micro-habitat unto itself. So there's a whole system of ecology that exists just right at that hummock sedge. So a very cool plant. I'm going to keep walking here some more, swamping through. Love this place. It's pretty swampy right now, so I got to kind of take it easy as I walk my way through. Whoa! Good thing I have waders on. Oh, here's a good tree right here to notice. I don't know if I can get in close enough or not, but you see this red stem tree? That is red osier dogwood. Now if you notice, it's got opposite branches. There just are not that many oppositely branched trees in Minnesota. You have ashes, maples, catalpa is whorled, which is sort of like opposite, only it's whorled all the way around. This is typical opposite, and it's got that trademark red bark, so that's red osier dogwood. Here's some more of our hummock sedge right here, and some of that red osier dogwood right next door to it. Oh, a little deep in here. Get a good workout walking through here. I'm trying to make my way to a cool tree that's another trademark of this place. Let's see if I can slowly make my way out here. On the way, you can see there's all kinds of green, small green-leaved plants on the surface of the water. Here, I'll focus in for a sec. So some people think that that is algae. It's not. So it's not a degraded wetland or poor quality wetland, something like that. It's not. That's actually a true plant. It's not algae, it's a true plant. It's called duckweed, or the genus is Lemna, and it's one of the smallest flowering plants in Minnesota. Yeah, those little specks are each vascular plants, and they actually flower. And those are true flowering plants. Just kind of making my way over here, slowly but surely. On top of a mass of plants right now. I'm not positive if this is it or not, but this looks like cut grass. Let's see if I can have a picture of that. Yeah, I do. Perfect. Here we go. So here's the real thing, and here's a photo. Cut grass is well named. If you walk through in your shorts, you'll feel it. It's got this neat little kind of Santa Claus ring around its stem. That's sort of its trademark, easy to identify characteristic. Cut grass, or its genus is Leersia, Leersia. Really hope I can make it to this tree, because I'm working at it. Making my way through. Actually got some high ground. Hey, walking on those hummocks. And now I fear I'm gonna dive down. Oh, here we go. Another tree I spoke of earlier. So this is an aspen. This is white birch. Betula papyrifera. So here, this has got that very chalky, very white bark, as opposed to that kind of glossy, perhaps lime green coloration to it with mottled patches of black. So that's Betula papyrifera white birch. I'll see if I can't walk hummock to hummock so I can get to like my favorite tree. Here it is. See if I can shoot it in good light. Yeah, okay, it's perfect. So if you look up here, yeah, I suppose it doesn't look that exciting, but this is tamarack.